Hi, welcome to another episode of Investor's Guide to Hard Money Lending, brought to you by CoreLend Financial. My name is Alissa Fowler, and we have Kelbert Fagan with Convergence Memphis here with us today. Going to let him tell a little bit about himself and what he does with Memphis. It's a pretty great program, really innovative for this city, and I think it's well needed.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate it. Again, my name is Kelbert Fagan. I'm the program manager for Convergence Memphis. We were founded by the Mortgage Bankers Association and THDA to focus on increasing homeownership amongst the low to moderate income, minority, and Black community. We also operate as a subsidiary of United Housing. So they're our parent company. We do a lot of work with them. Primarily focus on both the demand side for the consumer, making sure they're aware of all the products out there to help them become a homeowner. And we also work on a supply side where we focus on affordable housing, the number of affordable housing available and how we can increase that. Because we know that as we educate the community on all the help they can receive and all the different products out there, they have to have an affordable place to go. So we work with both sides. We have events that we put on, education seminars. I'm also a licensed agent. So we work with realtors to help educate them and get them involved as well in helping home buyers.
Now, how are you finding this affordable housing? Are you going in for properties that are already existing? Are you building new? Like, what does that look like of finding that affordable housing?
So we're sort of a convener where we believe that it's going to take everybody working together in order to move the needle. Therefore, we bring emerging developers to the table. We bring lenders to the table. We bring agents to the table. We bring nonprofits, CDCs, and everybody creates a solution for it. So when it comes to where we start, it could be like with a Chris Core, hard money lending. We know that for some of the developers that we work with, they may not qualify right away for traditional lending because there's just a lot of some barriers there for them. So working with a credible hard money lender may be the first thing they can do to get started, and then they'll refinance later with the CDFI. So we will look at that information and say, well, let's see how we can have an educated conversation regarding financing for a developer who's interested in affordable housing, right? So that I would say we start from that perspective of working with all the housing professionals to create a solution.
And like you say, using hard money, I could see, because you're going into areas that some other traditional lenders may be nervous about going into at first, because they've seen where are the comps? And when you're going into really in some of these areas where you're going to build the comps, you're going to be the comp that other ones use.
Sure.
And so I think that's where hard monies we are willing to take more risks. Because of looking at where there's got to be the first one to go in there. There's got to be the one to start it. If you build it, they will come. So that gains more trust. So I'm with you there, where it takes everyone. We got to work as a family here in Memphis to build it all up.
I agree. And we've seen success with that. We started what we call a land expo a couple years ago because we wanted to make anyone interested in development aware of the available projects going on as it relates to land. What lots are available? How does the Shelby County Land Bank work versus the Memphis Metropolitan Land Bank Authority, the City of Memphis Housing Department? How do they all work together? How do you get access to the lots and the different developments in the city? So the Land Expo brought all those professionals together with people who are interested. You had seasoned developers who will attend, developers from Nashville, emerging developers. And we brought the agencies who had access to the lots together to do a presentation on how to get access, how they can become a partner and develop those lots. And with that, we had organizations that offer pre-development funds because we know that's a barrier when it comes to development to help. Because typically someone just starting out, they may not have the funds to prepare the land to be built on.
So on this land, you said a land expo, because we've got a couple different types. Was it raw land? Is it looking at raw land, or is it land where there used to be houses and whether they burned or whatnot, and now they're just vacant lots where they've already had the development of the lot done to it, where at one point they've had electricity there, they've already got the poles, or is it raw, or is it just we're going to build a house where there was a house once was?
It's a mixture. I would say the majority would be raw land, because if you could imagine, you have like 5 different. I think at this last one we had 7 presenters. You had someone from local CDCs that was able to acquire 150 lots in Shelby County Land Bank. We had the City of Memphis's lots and their programs, and we had Memphis Metropolitan Land Bank talk about their lots. There's just a lot of projects going on, and some of those lots are somewhat developed, but I would say the majority of them are raw land where houses have not been built. Some of the areas are what I would consider disinvested areas of Memphis, which
there's a lot of them.
Right now, there's a lot of opportunity there, and the more we can focus on those areas behind affordable housing, I think it's going to just increase the economy here. It's also going to increase the quality of living for the local community. And
I could see where there's going to have to be funding for some of that development, for that infrastructure, because that's a cost a lot of people don't consider, and it's expensive to get that land ready to build on it.
Yes.
And to where you could very easily in some of these areas, this disinvested areas, where you could be more into it by developing the land and then building the property on the land. When you add in streets of this, to where they could never sell it for what they've got into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the key things with Convergence, because of our network now that's growing. We know where the resources are for the buyer and for the housing professional who's interested in development, as it relates to the cost to build. Right, you have agencies like the CRA. We talked about them earlier, the Community Redevelopment Agency. It's a quasi-governmental agency, and they have a program called the Essential Housing Program that acts as an entry point for developers, emerging developers. They have lots available that they want to provide access to, as long as that developer can get their own financing. And if they can qualify for the program and complete the program, then CRA will offer some pre-development funds to help get the lot ready. And then we will offer some pre-development funds as well. Typically, there may be a deed restriction or a restrictive covenant on it, because we do want to make sure that the house is sold to someone who falls into 80 to 120% AMI.
You don't want to sell it to another investor, an out-of-state investor, that they're just going to use it as a place where they dump their money.
Yeah, our goal is to, stay consistent with our mission to increase affordable housing, and we feel like that's reasonable. But also, some of the developers opt out to build duplexes and fourplexes for affordable rentals too. So it's kind of mixed use.
And that's what I'm seeing now, to where, you had the moratorium on building of duplexes in the mid 70s here, and you're starting to see more duplexes actually finally being built, when it's been, decades where you haven't seen new duplexes or new small multifamily properties go up. But I think it's an excellent way to increase the amount of affordable housing units here, or even people that want to do, think of that, or people that want to house hack, build their duplex, live in one side, and they're renting out the other. For it, but it's because, could they not have afforded that on their own, but then they've got rental income coming in, to where it does make them both a homeowner and kind of a landlord.
Agreed. That is a strategy that we've seen employed, just because if you can live in a duplex or a fourplex, then your financing becomes more flexible.
Yes,
you can get an actual residential loan for that.
Yes, you can, and then you're getting you're living in your residence, but it's also bringing in income. To you as well, and I think that's a great thing that's happening. I think, and it's, I had, you talking of duplexes, I had a wholesaler. It was a pretty well-known one, schedule a call with me, and they're coming in and they're like, Alissa, we're putting all this money into these duplexes, but then the appraisals come back. I'm like, what? They're coming back at 125, 130,000 after you've put 60,000 in work? He goes, yes. And it's just because there was so long, there's not many appraisers that will appraise that small multifamily because it's still residential, but there's so much more work involved, and their work is checked a lot more than single family. And there's just not as many comps. So when you've only got a couple of appraisers doing duplexes or up to 4 units in the county, well, they're using their own comps. And if they're never willing to put credit where the work is, you're never going to see that appreciation. So I think with the building of new ones, I think you're going to start seeing, there's more comps. There's new comps to.
Yeah. And that's also another strategy when you consider some of the areas that houses are being built that, for the purpose of affordable housing. If you can stay consistent with the housing stock to a certain degree in those areas, because the homes are typically a little bit older where you're building, once those homes are sold, enough homes are sold in the area, then you can reestablish the comps, which provides equity for the homeowners that are currently in the area. So that's another strategy for trying to increase affordable housing and also build wealth for people.
Yeah, it's building wealth for people that have stayed in some of these areas for their entire life, where they've never seen that appreciation, but they've got this asset. Well, now they're actually seeing their asset appreciate, that's to say we'll see some people talk like it's never going to get here, but it will if more people start going into those areas. And you hate to use the term gentrification because that's not what it is, but it's just truly a redevelopment of that area.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good for everybody. I mean, I think certainly for the folks who are currently living in the area, who can see an increase in their equity and their appreciation and their value of their home, but also for the end user who's buying a new construction home at an affordable price. So we feel like everybody wins.
And they do win too, because you're wanting to put homeowners in these places. Typically the homeowner, they're paying for it. That's their asset. So they're going to keep it. They want their lawns looking nice. It's home. They want it to look nice. That starts spreading as well. Where everybody else, there's more pride just in that area.
Yeah.
As a whole. Yeah,
absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
And so where are you seeing some of the most activity, like for your program? What areas of the city are you seeing kind of the most activity of investors going in and actually putting these plans into fruition?
Wow. I think across the board. I mean, there's development in North Memphis. There's development in South Memphis, in Binghamton.
You just spanned the whole city right there.
Yeah, I'm just saying that there's a lot of great projects going on, specifically with the Essential Housing Program, CRA. A lot of the lots that they own are kind of in that uptown area, closer to, I guess, North Memphis, you would say. So,
and Looney was kind of cut off there, where you saw where that street was changing, and now it seems to have jumped even farther towards that. If you go up 51, like Highway Danny Thomas, where that North Memphis, you're starting to see that near the Pierce, near that section.
You're starting to see a change in the community. You're starting to see more houses increasing in value and things of that nature. And we know it's going to be a kind of a slow push to make these changes. But I think all the housing professionals are committed to it. I mean, when you think about even what we're trying to do and increasing homeownership amongst low to moderate income minorities in the Black community, if we're able to pull that off, it just really closes the gap, right?
It does. And we're not changing demographics. We're changing people from being tenants to homeowners.
Yeah, basically.
And just making that existing community better and more solid.
Right. And which we know is just kind of the outcome of homeownership. Stability for the family and potentially more wealth building opportunities. So, yeah. Well,
and that leaves a thing where if you're a tenant forever and nothing against that, there's always going to be people that rent, but you have that where you own it. Well, that's something you can potentially pass down to your kids that they can inherit.
Right. That's something we talk about so we also do homebuyer expos for the community. We go out to majority minority areas and just talk about this, partner with the local CDCs, local churches to get the word out, just to help them understand the benefits of homeownership versus renting. Now, like we all know that some people don't want to be homeowners. They want to rent, and they
that's
have
fine.
We don't feel like there's a competition there.
Right. There's not.
We just want to make sure folks know that
there's a path for those who want to be homeowners.
and we want to make sure they're informed. One thing we really highlight is education. That's through our parent company, United Housing, which I would say is premier home buying education nonprofit here locally. HUD certified counselors. Once you go through their course, it's like an 8-hour course on a weekend or whatnot. Sometimes throughout the week, you get a certification to be approved for down payment assistance.
Which that's huge. Talk a little bit more about that down payment assistance.
Yeah. So down payment assistance really is the logical way to go for a first-time home buyer, right? A lot of times, if this is your first home, you may not have as much cash to put down on a property. Most banks are going to require some kind of down payment.
Even 3.5% for FHA.
FHA 3.5%, conventional loan 3%, 5%, 20%. Yeah, those are the requirements. And I mean, there are some stipulations with income when it comes to down payment assistance. But so you have some banks where there's a certain salary range you have to be in order to qualify, but then you have others that have a wider range, right? So it's good to shop around, but that's one of the key selling points that we offer when it comes to our home buying expos, and then the home buying education through United Housing, right? Once you get that down payment assistance certification, you can shop around and see what banks would be best for you, and typically for first-time home buyers are the ones who qualify for it.
Yeah, and I want to be clear too. Like with using hard money, that's not for the consumer. It's not for the one who's going to be the homeowner to use a hard money lender as funding, because it's not consumer lending. Yeah. But it's for that investor to come in and to be able to build it to sell to that homeowner.
Right. And that's like, we're going to actually have traditional lending versus hard money lending panel discussion that you guys are going to be part of, actually.
Yes.
It's going to be June 26th at United Housing from 3 to 4:30. And so we're going to have that discussion just to talk through the benefits of both. And then we'll take questions from the folks who are present, emerging developers, real estate professionals, housing professionals, nonprofits. Everybody there will have an opportunity to kind of really have a more in-depth discussion about how both can be beneficial depending on where you are in your process. Yeah. And again, this is under the umbrella of affordable housing. So the folks who will be participating understand that we're trying to increase affordable housing, and that will bring into play also the end user to make it a good product for them and something that's affordable. Yeah,
because these first time, like you said, these first time home buyers, even that 3%, that 5%, they're in low to moderate income. That's still a big chunk of money when you're looking at $150,000 house.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, even if they have it, and some of them do, people save money. When you buy a home, when you become a homeowner, it can be expensive. Like, you're
buying blinds for everything. I mean, there you go.
Basically. And I know there's some horror stories from everybody where you do your home inspection and everything is great. As soon as you move in, there goes the water heater, there goes the furnace, and that can get really expensive. So it's good for them to be able to save the funds they have to just get started on, having an emergency fund somewhat for their home. Yeah.
Because you look at that, it's, I should have just kept renting. I've moved in, and 2 days later, my condenser goes out. Oh gosh, I'm spending thousands. I could have called a landlord to be able to do that for me first. So you want it to they can still this still makes sense.
Yep. And I've gotten that call from clients I've sold homes to, and they say, well, the fuse box is not working. The electrical panel is malfunctioning. The stove stopped working, and
the power goes out.
And a lot of times it just comes down to making sure that home buyers are properly informed. Like at our home buying education, home buyer expo, we talk through making sure you get a home warranty, right? Making sure you understand the network of professionals you'll need to help with your home. Your agent should be able to provide that for you and things of that nature, so that when something doesn't happen, you can utilize your home warranty, or you can use the network of your agent to call a plumber, to call an electrician, those types of folks. So I do think that education is likely one of the most important parts of the journey to purchase a home.
It is. And you say for home warranties, like on the investor side, we don't recommend investors get home warranties, because speed is the name of the game on getting these things fixed for these investors, for their tenants,
right,
on it. And that you're not going to get that with a home warranty,
right,
for it. But it is, for homeowners, it's definitely something. It may take you time, but it could save you thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Yeah. And not everybody supports home warranties. I think if it's a first-time home buyer, I recommend it, just because they're not accustomed to home ownership yet. So it could save them some money and some time, and they can learn as well. So.
Yes, they can learn on these things, and it's with these, and I think that's what a lot of investors, the people that are building, and I know some of these builders, they have high hopes of I'm building this so that a first-time home buyer can come in this area and buy it. And it still ends up being where an out-of-state investor buys it, or a local investor buys it. But what they've given the opportunity for, they put it where it's a path for either or could buy it, which I think is very smart for investors to go in and build in the hopes that this is affordable for a first-time home buyer. This is also affordable. It makes sense for a, as a rental property too, if that's my exit strategy. Yeah. Because somebody might have the best intentions as an investor to build for an actual home buyer. Yeah. But they're not in it for their health. They've still got to sell the property. If it's sitting for months, but you've got a lot of investors that they could get a few offers. They're probably, some of them, they have that where I'm going to sell it to that actual home buyer. Yeah. The actual owner occupant before I want to sell it to an investor. Yeah. I mean, that's just typical. Anybody in the real estate market understands that. We don't want to go bankrupt trying to be unrealistic about selling a property to a first time home buyer. I mean, even as a nonprofit builder, right? It's the same game. We can build 8 homes in an area, in an urban area, and listen, if a certain period of time passes by, we've done all our education, we've invited folks to come see the home. If it doesn't sell, then obviously we have to look to rent, just so we're not, losing, we're not staying in the red. And because you can't continue to operate in the red. Right. So, I mean, I think that's just reality when it comes to real estate across the board. It does. And it's, this city, I think, does a great job of trying to incorporate lots of different areas, areas of expertise to try to make this city better. I think that's what all of our goal is, to just keep Memphis to be a thriving city and one that's growing, where people are moving into, where we have population increases here, because we've got such great businesses here and that are going to stay here. Right. Agreed. And I feel like that's one reason we feel like bringing everybody to the table is the best way to go, right? Where it's like a one-stop shop when it comes to resources that can be provided to both the builder and developer and the homeowner, right? Have everything in one place, and they know where to go to get what they need to accomplish their goal. I agree. Well, I appreciate you coming on here. I'm excited to see you for us to be on that panel too. I mean, it's exciting to see a lot of the things that are coming to Memphis and that are happening in the city to just make it better. So I appreciate you coming on, Kelbert. Absolutely, Alissa. Thank you. And I look forward to talking to you later. All right. Sounds good. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time.